Welcome to Rick Rack Ruby. I'm Laura Cluvo. Today we will be making this vintage lace and fiber nest necklace. It's fun and easy, so let's get started. To make our fiber nest, we'll start with 4 pieces of white covered wire. This is the floral wire set from Wilton. There are 3 gauges of wire in each package. There's a 20, a 22, and a 26, and any one of these sizes will work. I'm using the 26, which is the thinnest gauge, but any one of these sizes will fit. I think these are about 6 inches long. So I'm going to start with these 4 lengths of this wire and bend them in half like this. That's just to determine the center. And then we're going to weave along these as sort of like the spokes of a wheel, but we need an odd number. So I'm going to take one of these pieces and wrap it around the center to secure. I don't need to use the entire length, just enough so it feels like it's secure. And then I'll cut that off. Now I have 7 pieces of wire. This is kind of like basketry. So we'll open them up like the spokes on a wheel, and we're going to weave through these spokes. I'm going to start in the center with some yarn. This is the yarn that I usually use for doll's hair. I'll just cut off a length of it, and it's maybe 30 inches. And I'm going to start in the center, and I will weave over, under, and just until this is all used up. I think it's about a yard, to be honest. Okay, over, under, just trying to maintain the over, under, and then sometimes the spokes will spread apart. And then sometimes I accidentally will go over 2 or under 2 or whatever, but generally just keep going until you have about an inch, like an inch circle in the center. You can use yarn, you can use string, you can use jute, you could use cord, you could use baker's twine, you can use any kind of twine, just whatever you like. You could use floss, whatever you like. Okay, well that's probably around an inch. I think it might be a little less, but that's good enough. That's about 5/8. Before I wind the entire thing, I'm going to take a second piece. I have a pile of scrap lace right here. This is actually from projects that I've made, and you might even recognize some of these laces from projects on Rick Rack Ruby. Like I think this one was from the stocking that I made for Violet. So I just save all those little scraps. Now this, you know, it's significantly heavier. That's okay. So what I want to do is kind of join these two, you know, just keep wrapping with the first one and just kind of add the second one in. I'll hold that down with my thumb, over, under. Okay, I got to focus here. Over, under. Now I'm going to flip this so that the little exposed wire and the back is a little more covered. Now we're going to start adding some more interesting laces. This is a nice contrast, so I'll go ahead and add this one. And again, it's just around and around and around. Under, over, under, over. Under, over. Okay, that's bothering me. Under, boop. All right, that should secure that. Okay. Now we're going to begin to form a bowl, just a little bowl shape. I'm going to add a tiny bit of glue right here. Usually I don't mind when the little ends poke out, but that one was trying to come free. So these are literally just the little baby scraps that are left over from some of my projects. That would be good, but it's too close to that same color. So here we go. We're going to start folding the spokes up a little bit. And sometimes I even wrap in the opposite direction. Here, we'll go this way this time. And I like the way these edges are kind of fraying. I like that look. I think that's enough of this lace. I'll do something, maybe this color. How about this? This will be good. This is starting to look very interesting. I like that. Tiny bit of glue just on the edge. I might trim that, but probably not. Now let's see what we might add. We're almost done. I'm noticing that the thick part of this lace landed right here where I already had some ends, so I'm going to start somewhere else. Let's put this right here. I think this will be better. Start here. And I'm trying to sort of pull this up into a bowl shape. I like the way this flower and the lace kind of shows right there. And I'm still weaving in and out, up and down. And I think that's good. I'll add a little bit of glue there. Now, I know it kind of looks like a mess right now, but that's okay. I'm going to trim each one of these wires to about 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch. Here's how the bottom looks, here's the side, and here's the top. So I'm going to trim these with my wire cutters. Now I'm going to fold 1/2 of these to the outside. I can see that this wire right here, I need to fold back this way so that it'll secure that lace right there. It's not super important, but I kind of try to look for that. And this one back. Actually, this one looks like it should also go back. And this one too. Now here's how it looks. Now you can see these wires are definitely exposed. We're going to take care of that next. There's also this part right here is a little bit heavier than this side right here, so I'm going to aim to have this at the bottom. This is what the packaging looks like, and here are the beads. I always do 3. I don't know why. You don't have to do 3. You could also have the beads represent the family. You know, if there's 5 members of the family, then you could have little eggs in there. Anyway, I'm just sewing, just in and out, and so I'll go in just anywhere. The thread doesn't really show. And then I'm threading that onto the bead, and then sewing back out. I try to get the beads to make the shape of a triangle. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm not going to cut my thread yet because remember how I said those wires are showing? So wherever there's a wire showing, I want to conceal that. And so I'm going to sew a little piece of lace. Like for instance, you can see that, okay, right here. So maybe I will find a little lace motif. Even though it's a flower, I don't want it to necessarily look like a flower. So I'm just going to kind of twist it and stitch through and secure it right over this wire. I'll show you again. Here's another wire. Here's a little bit. Maybe I'll tie this into a knot. And here's the wire right here. I'll go through the center of the knot and tack that over that wire. Here's another wire right here. Let's cut off a little bit of this. I'll just go like this, like a little, just a little doodad. And so that over this wire. And here's one more here. That will be good. And you can see how these little bits just really add to the character of your nest. Now I'm going to look, before I secure my thread, to see if there are any areas on the inside. Okay, I can see a little wire right there. It's not too bad, but I can definitely do better. Right there. Here's a piece of lace. See how small that is? I save everything. I know it's crazy. I don't save everything. Okay, I save vintage lace. I'm going to trim these in a minute, but let's make sure I like the look of that. Okay, good, good. I see another piece of wire back here. I think this has to be the last one. I'm not cutting my thread yet. Okay, now I said that I wanted this to be the bottom right, like the 4 o'clock, and so this will be the top. So I think I'm gonna like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that my needle comes out right at the top. Good. And now I'm gonna make a hanging loop, which is about 30 inches of a very narrow tape. So this is the kind of tape that's used to make Battenberg lace. And I'm going to fold it in half. It's 30 inches. I'm going to fold it in half and tie a knot here. This will be the top. I just want this to be adjustable in case your recipient needs it longer or shorter. You can shorten it or lengthen it. And then I'm going to sew this center right here to the top of the nest. Just going to sew through and tack it right at the top here. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to glue a bow over it. And then I'm going to secure the thread in the back with a knot. Now, as long as I have this thread, I'm going to go ahead and tack down some of these kooky ends. Well, this one for sure. Just tack it around like that. And that. I think that one's okay. This one here is a little crazy. I'm going to go like this. And then we'll tack this one around a little bit. See how that looks. And it's definitely starting to look a little bit more compact, but still interesting. There we go. That looks good. And then I think I have enough thread for one more stitch, which will be right here. So basically I just use that same thread, starting with the 3 beads for the eggs and then just tacking down, you know, parts of all these little kooky ends. And don't really like this right here. I'm going to tuck this up a little bit. I think this is drawing my eye away from the beads. So I'm going to tuck that up a little bit. Now you'll have your own challenges depending on what kinds of lace you use. And you can of course make this with all new lace or even all the same lace. Or you can use it, make it look very modern. You can do it all with yarn. Have a lot of fun with this. I've made quite a few because they are kind of addicting. You can see the pile of lace that I have. It's probably enough to make 5 or 6 of these. But finally, I'm going to add, I could add a little bow right here. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. This is how I bought this. This is how it came on this wooden spool. Isn't that cute? So I'll tie a little bow for the top. And I'm going to glue it on. And glue it to the top right there. I think those streamers are a little long. Aw, that's cute. And we're done. But before we go, I want to show you some other examples. This one has sort of pearl colored beads in it, and I use some pink tatting and pink in the ribbon, and this is some kind of a rickrack trim for the hanger. Here's another one with blue eggs and a little pink tatting. This tape was a little bit thinner than what I used today, which worked really well. And then here's one with the pearls, and this one was a little bit smaller and simpler, but I used this multicolored crochet trim, which gives it a fun look. This one is cute. It has the blue eggs and then a little bit of green tatting. But I really think the one we made today is my favorite. This one's my favorite for sure. Thank you for watching my tutorial. If you're enjoying my videos, please like, share, and subscribe.